And today I'm responding to the call of many parents that have sent me mails and messages saying, help us find a way of helping our kids deal with lockdown. And like you, I'm in lockdown with an 18-year-old and an 8-year-old, and we're having to learn to swim in this situation. Now, in the last few years, I have been thrown with a few new concepts. First one was load shedding. Now, that was a total new concept to me. I used to think that load shedding was just the load that I had to shed directly after Christmas and New Year's from all the food that I ate that was just too much. And then, of course, the load shedding during the summer months when my husband is lying too close to me and I want him to just shed his load to the other side of the bed and just give me some cool space to lie in and sleep in. Then I was hit with a new one. We learned all about saving water, and we were all running around because there was a water shortage with buckets. So whenever we saw a cloud, we would run out with our buckets, try and run and stay under the cloud to catch whatever drop came from it. And now we're faced with a new one called lockdown. It's like time out for everyone. It's being locked down, locked away for safety and all the good reasons, but the time is being extended, and people are starting to get frustrated, and kids are starting to get frustrated, and parents are frustrated because kids are frustrated, and the kids don't know what to do, and the parents don't know what to do about the kids not knowing what to do. So I'm here, and we're going to start off with sugar, spice, a dash of advice. And today we're going to focus on just one word called normal. Normal means the way things are done. It means the pattern in which things are done. It's also what we are accustomed to. It's like the usual, the habit of things. It's the routine of things. And as you very well know, these are the things that has changed in this new way of doing called lockdown. Just considering the word normal and its meaning, routine, we realize that routine, the way that we've known it, has changed. So routine is no longer the way it used to be. And somehow we thought this was going to pass quickly. It was like having a 6-week holiday and just knowing that you would adapt and you would find a new way, and even if you didn't find a routine, it would be okay because it was pretty soon it was going to be over. The thing now is that it's not getting to a point where it's over, where it's done, and we are faced with a routine challenge. The next thing is the way in which things are done has changed, because the way we used to do things, even if it was for a few weeks of holiday, it has changed. It's a new way and an old way. So the way is no longer the same. Then a pattern. The pattern of things means that when we're in a pattern of doing things, often you don't have to think about it. It's like on Mondays, we don't really have to think about what we're going to do Mondays because you get up, take the kids to school, you collect them, and then maybe they have netball or they have rugby or soccer or whatever. And you don't really have to go through thinking about it, because the great thing about a pattern is it just gives you images and you just kind of follow through it. So now we sit with the thing of having no pattern, that our brains can just relax and just work through it. The thing is, our kids are experiencing exactly the same thing. The other thing is accustomed. When you're accustomed to doing things in a certain way, it gives you a relaxation, a stress-free, even though there's stress, it gives you just a knowing and a security knowing what comes next, because you fit into what you're accustomed to do, but this has changed. And then we get to a habit. Now, the great thing about habits is that once you've adopted a habit, you don't really have to think about it. It's like riding a bicycle. You get onto the bicycle and you ride the bicycle. You don't have to stop and think with it. The thing with habits that's normal in our routine is that we don't have to think about it. We just kind of move from the one thing to the next thing. But suddenly we're faced with a situation where what we used to have as a habit is no longer a habit, and we're stuck in wanting to do that habit, but it's not there. Our kids are experiencing exactly the same thing. And this is bringing us to a challenge, because we want to do things in what I call the old normal instead of adapting to the new normal. Currently, you and I, we're faced with three paths. One being the old normal. The old normal is the way we used to, the old pattern, the old way of doing, the old routine, the old what we used to be accustomed to, and the old habit. The thing is, we're trying to live the old, but we are in a new. We are in a new, and we need to now adapt, and the way of adapting is to create as quick as possible a new routine, a new way of doing, a new pattern, so that the new path can become something that we are accustomed to, that it can become a new habit. And the quickest way of getting a new shoe to sit comfortably is to just put it on and walk with it. Now, this is what we need to do. We need to put on this new normal. We need to put on the new path that we're on currently and just walk in it. Now, walking means that you need to find a routine. You need to find a way of doing. You need to find a pattern. And sugar, spice, dash of advice is going to help you on this new path, so that your new path and your new normal can become just an old normal as quick as possible, because it needs to happen for you and it needs to happen for your child. What gives our kids security, what makes them happy, is when life is predictable, when they have routine, when they have pattern, when they have order. And we need to find a way of providing this, and at the same time providing in different levels of their needs. And that I will discuss with you in a later video. You need to remember that the old path is one that's not accessible. It's called old, it's done, it's kaput. It's not there anymore. It's not a choice. It's not an option. So stop trying to stick to it. Stop trying to grab a hold of it. Let it go and find the new. The thing is, with the new, we don't know how long this is going to stretch and how long it's going to be, but that brings us to a next one, and that is the future path. The thing with the future path is that as we've adapted now, there's also going to be a future path. And right now, we're not quite sure how that's going to work either. So the thing is that for the now, while we're in a situation where we have an opportunity to equip our kids, we have an opportunity, you and I, to teach them how to live in a situation that is not ideal. A lockdown situation like we have gives you an opportunity to equip your child on how to deal with life and when it happens, when it hits you. And once you've equipped them with it, it means that no matter what happens to them, they're going to learn the principles of adapting, finding a new, choosing the new, and making that an old as quick as possible. It's called adapting. It's called finding your feet. And that's what we're equipping our children with. So let's get going. First, you have to choose the new. I'm going to grab a hold of this and I choose the new, and I'm going to turn this new into a normal so that it can just become an old normal. So how are we going to do it? First, you're going to sit your child down and you're going to mourn the old. That's what we do. We mourn the old when it's over. We mourn, we moan. Moaning is that sorrowful sounds that comes from the inside, that wants to make you cry, almost like the sound of a saxophone, although I do like a saxophone. But anyhow, so you need to give your child an opportunity to voice their sorrow, their sadness, and name the things that they feel sorry about, that they're sad about. List the things, because remember, that list is going to provide you with the steps of finding a new, because in the new, we want to find plans so that we can make those plans new patterns that will provide in some way the need of what is being lost or that we're feeling sad about. So make a list. Then make sure that if your child wants to cry about it, let them cry. After all, tears is filled with toxins produced by stress. Yeah, go Google it a bit. You'll find it there. Let them get rid of the poison, but be careful. Have no conversations or discussions about sad things or allow any form of moaning after 4 in the afternoon. Kids tend to drop in their levels of energy, and it tends to be the time of day from there on where they tend to feel sorry for themselves and moan and groan. And if you're going to link up to that and you're going to connect with it, you're going to sit with a problem, because it's only going to be a bunch of emotional mourning, but there's going to be no solution to it. So avoid it that time of the day, and we'll get to in our new pattern when we discuss on how to create a new pattern. We will cover how to avoid and what to do in that time slot during the day when morning star tends to happen. Next thing is, make sure to communicate your own moanings and your own sorries. Remember, if this is normal, all these feelings that we're feeling, and you're telling your child that it's normal to voice their sadness, to voice what they're missing, then take the lead. If it's so normal, then normalize it, where you start sharing, this is what I'm feeling sad about, and I'm also communicating it to you. So this is a normal state that we are both experiencing. Conclude with the fact that feeling sad and having sadness and sorrow and all this sorriness about what's happened is normal. That's normal. Point. Whenever we miss something, whenever we lose something, it's normal to feel sad, and it's normal to feel this way. But now we need to find a way out. You might even take a step further and contact the mothers of your friend, of your child's friend, and get them to also record maybe their children on a video where they list the things that they miss, that they feel sorry about, that they feel sad about. Have the mothers record their children while stating their list, and even have the mothers just stating their list of feeling sorry. Share this amongst the friends so that your child and his friends can see that we're all experiencing the same thing, and this is a normal experience. But it's in this experience that we share that we all now need to come together and find a new path, a new normal, and a new way of doing things. Because our survival is not in mourning what we've lost, but in finding a new way of doing things. So make a decision and join me on this new path in finding a new normal. Run with your child through these steps that I've mentioned about communicating and stating what you're feeling sad about, what you're missing out on, and how you are feeling. But most of all, make a list, because that list is the way out. I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that you feel a new zest for life, and that you're going to jump with me on this new path and find the new normal.
you.